Making a video about Nearmap. It's a satellite imaging web application website, and it's pretty cool. I first discovered it in 2010, but it was quite expensive, so I didn't use it for many years. But I've since got access. Now this is where I live, and you'll see next door that there's a house on the block of land at the left, 2018. You can see then it was knocked down later that year. They're going to build a childcare centre. And then in the next photo, you can see all this white on the trees. Now this white is all the pollen, all the flowering pollen, and that blows right into our house and gives us a lot of asthma and hay fever and so on. It's quite interesting to see how things change over the seasons. Next photo, it's not much pollen at all. It's now February, it's summertime, it's quite dry. Next photo, it's June, quite green. It's winter time, we get rain in winter here. Victoria, and it's quite interesting to see how things changed. And the next photo is in Berrigan. Now Berrigan is where I have my current house. Now this shows you the coverage. Berrigan is at the top of the blue pin, and it shows you Nearmap basically covers central Victoria, southern New South Wales, all the populated areas, but not everywhere. So this shows you the coverages. This is zoomed in a bit, and you can see the mighty Murray River at the bottom. And you can see there's a lot of farms, and the house that I've got at the moment is in a farming community. This is zoomed in. You'll see there's a circle in the middle, that's the race course. And they've only got a map for this town in 2010. So unfortunately that's what I've got. That's zoomed in a bit more. You can see the race course. But it's still much better than Google. And it's quite clear what you can do. Now the big shadows are clouds. Zoomed in a bit more, that's the town where I've got a house. Quite clear maps, really like this website. Really good for seeing how things have changed. If you need to see if someone's built a structure that they shouldn't have, or they're dumping things where they shouldn't be, you can track how things have changed over time. This is zoomed in a bit more. Now you can see there's a house with a big green roof, and anyway, a bit left of that is my house. Now there's a big tree there that's since been cut down, and that explains why I have a really big stump. But what it really helped me understand is why my grass doesn't grow at the back. And that's because they had a big gravel driveway. And the grass has since grown over, but not very well. There you can see the gravel driveway and the tree that I was talking about. That tree is gone, and that driveway, well, it's kind of a bit of grass. This is the equal map in Google, not very clear at all. Basically you can't get any detail, at least not in regional areas. Maybe in the city you can, but basically not that useful. This is why I like Nearmap. This is where I lived with my ex-wife and kids, and I'm showing you there's a cubby house in the back and a rectangular trampoline, and showing you how things have changed over the course of time. And you can see I've put solar panels since the last photo, and there's a vacant block to the right of my neighbours, and this was owned by other people, but he bought it, and I'll show you what he did with it. This is about every year or so. I'm doing photos here, and not much has changed at this point in time. Let's see. This is a bit later. Now you can see the trees along the driveway are really starting to grow. I planted those, and they're really doing well. Okay, now you can see there's a big trampoline that we got, and the cubby house is gone. This is a spring-free trampoline. They're really good. Much bigger, much better for kids. You can also see there's a tree planted next to the driveway. Now this is a bit later again, and the tree next to the driveway is growing. That's a big bottle brush that I planted. The council said I couldn't plant any plants, but I did anyway. So I planted a native, which you're not supposed to remove. And things are growing. Now, it looks here like the neighbour has poisoned his grass, and he's bought a block of land next door to him, and he's poisoned that as well. It looks like that. And that is because he was going to go build a big house there. And that's what he did do. And by this stage I'd moved out, and not too much has changed. but the plants are really growing nice and big along the driveway that I planted, as well as the one on the nature strip. Ooh, there's a house, 2017. And he told me he was going to subdivide this and try and make, now that he owned 2 blocks, he was going to try and make 3. And you'll see how he did that. Okay, now the house is basically built on the empty block, and now all the plants are growing even bigger, and now it's getting to be a warm part of the year again. The grass is brown, and really like Nearmap, really good for tracking things over time. And here you can see how he's subdividing the backyards into another block, and that is going to have access from the side street. And he told me about this, and it's quite interesting to see how it's actually happening in real time. Anyway, hope you enjoy the video.